the other night.
It's a good word.
What did you see that you liked? What jumped out to you that was like this? Okay, let's focus on this before we tip it up again.
Yeah, I mean the things that I thought I saw live. Sometimes you watch it and there's things you don't see live that you see on tape, or things you think you see live that you don't see on tape. Like, to me, that game was basically what I thought it was. I thought our sharing of the ball was tremendous. You know, defensively, a couple of the slip-ups. Some of it was they made some tough shots. You know, so those things that will continue to tighten up. But the sharing of the ball, we really want to emphasize. The pace we were able to get the ball up, and not just get up quickly and get a shot, but just get it up quickly and continue to flow into offense. That's really the key, is being able to, yeah, it's nice when we get a hit-ahead dunk or hit-ahead three. We love that. But being able to get it up the floor and just flow, this team has been much better with that, you know, through the exhibitions, through practice, through inter-squad scrimmages, when we can get kind of our legs moving and flow into that offense.
It seemed like, to less educated eyes, that whatever grouping you had out there started to play more cohesively as the game went on. Did you notice that, either live or when you went back and looked at it?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff gets contagious, right? Like, it gets good contagious and bad contagious at times. So when you're sitting there and you're watching that ball flow and guys get really good shots and great looks and making the extra pass and doing those things, then you get in the game. It may take a minute, like you said, to kind of get acclimated to that, but once you've seen that and it's kind of flowing through, and then you receive an extra pass, so now you're more likely to give an extra pass. Like, it's just good basketball, right? And at the end of the day, as much as all of us, not just guys on this team, but all basketball players, right? They want their touches, they want their shots, they want their points, they want their stats, they want all those things. I do think at the end of the day that all real basketball players, they want to play good basketball, right? And yes, do they want their shots? Yeah, absolutely. But they want to be out there playing good basketball, where that ball's popping, the ball's moving, guys are making the right reads, making the right plays for each other. That's ultimately, you know, what you want.
What kind of a change in competition is Utah State?
Yeah, I mean, they're very good. I mean, you know, they're everything that they're advertised to be. They're an NCAA tournament team last year. I think they were 10 seed this year. They're, you know, I would assume should be right in that mix again. The way I will put it with the guys here shortly is, you know, if they were in the Atlantic 10, they'd been picked to win the league or be right at the top. So, you know, right off the bat, it's a championship level game for us, right? Like, they're a team that if they were playing in the Atlantic 10, you'd expect to see on that Sunday in March, right? And they got really good players all the way around. They got really good returners. They got a great group of returning guys, and they added really good pieces in the transfer portal from all different levels. You know, a guy from Vanderbilt, a guy from Butler, a guy from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So they found a way to kind of blend that all together, you know, to make them, you know, a really tough opponent.
Metrics only mean so much one game into the season, but I think they're 21st in the country in offensive rating. They put up 110 in their opening game. What do you admire specifically about what they do on that end of the floor, and what makes them so prodigious offensively?
Well, you know, they have a matchup zone that they play that confuses people at times, can create turnovers, can create tough shots that lead to runouts, so they are good in transition. So they're one of those teams that is off of misses and turnovers fast. They get out and they go in transition. Off of makes, they're just really sharp in their half court, and they run a bunch of different stuff and stuff that looks the same, and you know, so their transition's really good, and then it's almost like playing a Mark Schmidt coach St. Bonaventure team in the half court, right? So it's like, all right, you got to get back and stop them in transition, but then you get in the half court and it's like, okay, here they come with this misdirection to a counter to this, and you're like, all right, it looked like it was going to be this play, and it's a totally different play. So that's based off of what we were able to see at the end of last year. Obviously, could be different beginning of the year. Playing a D2 early, they didn't run as much stuff, but that's what I see. I think he's a really, really good coach. There's a reason that in year one, at Utah State, he was able to be a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament, and win 26 games or whatever they won. You can see it. They're sharp, they're organized, and they know who they are, right? Like they have guys that know who they are, have played a lot of basketball together, and that's an advantage they have on us right now is they have a bunch of guys that have played a lot of games together and know each other's strengths, know each other's weaknesses, know where they like the ball, where they don't like the ball, all those things. So it presents a challenge.
MJ Mitchell, 23 points for them the other night in that opener. Obviously, they
Collins,
have a lot of guys
MJ
that can work
Collins.
you, but specifically him,
Yep.
is he kind of the focal point for them offensively?
Well, he's a transfer from Vanderbilt, can really score the ball. You can see that he's very offensive oriented. The other wing, Falslev, could project to be the player of the year in the Mountain West. Was an all-league player last year. Just both sides of the ball is very effective, offensively very effective, defensively effective with the ball in his hands, effective without the ball in his hands. So, again, it's a challenge. It's a good challenge, right? And one that we'll be able to, regardless of the result, be able to come out and say, okay, we guarded two high-level wings. This is how we guarded them, right? This is what worked. This is what didn't work. We're going to see that all year long. So, they have a good way about them, and it definitely starts with those two guys.
True road trip, long flight. What are the challenges with that? What do you think the guys are going to be able to handle going on the road for the first time this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the travel's the travel, right? Like we get on the plane, we get there, we'll go to the arena, get some shots tomorrow night. We'll practice here a little earlier than I'd like, to be honest with you. But to coordinate everything, that's what we have to do, and we'll do that. So we'll practice here, we'll get on the plane, we'll get there, we'll get some shots in the arena, do our dinner and our film tomorrow night, get some rest, and then, Friday will be a normal day. We'll get up, we'll have breakfast, we'll go shoot around, we'll come back, we'll have a pregame meal, and we'll go tip it off. I mean, one of the challenges is, neutral site game, and I don't imagine it's going to be a large crowd. I don't know what that arena's like. I don't know how big, and, will it feel really empty if there's only a couple hundred people? Will it, just feel like there's a couple hundred people there? I don't know. But, that piece of it, like we got to be, and we'll talk about that today, like we have to start that game the right way. We've started 2 games at home the right way, feeding off the energy. We have to be able to feed off our own energy now, right? We don't have the peppers. We don't have the amazing crowd that we had the other night. Like we won't have that. So it's got to be us. And that's okay, because it's been us for all these days over in the BDC, and then here when we're practicing and working out, it's just been us. So, we'll have to feed off of each other that way.
Yeah. How much more do you think you'll learn from facing a team that was in the NCAA tournament last year compared to like Wagner, all due respect?
Yeah, I mean, these are the games that you really want to see, right? Like you really want to play. You really want to test yourself. If you're a true player, you want to line up against another true player, right? And again, no disrespect to anybody else, but like, this is one of the best teams on our schedule in the non-conference, right? We scheduled this game for a reason. Would I like a couple more tune-ups to be ready? Yeah, maybe, but that's not what the calendar allowed. So, they'll be there, we'll be there, and yeah, you're looking across and going like, man, that guy can really play, and that guy can really play, and that guy can really play, and that guy, and hopefully they're doing the same thing on the other side, looking at our roster going, well, that guy can play, and that guy can play. So, there's no slouches out there. Like everybody that plays in that game on Friday night on both sides will be a real player. And again, I'm a big believer in you got to play tough teams, and that's what's going to get you ready for those really tough games that start in January, February, and March. You have to test yourself early on that. If you just go through and breeze through, you see it every year. There's teams that breeze through November and December, and then they hit conference play and they're not ready for it. And we always want to be ready for that. So we'll play as tough a schedule as we can. You know, I'm appreciative that they were willing to play us. Again, you've heard me say this, there's a lot of teams that say no to us. They were very willing to play.
So this is a game that you got on the schedule.
Yeah,
After you were hired.
oh, yeah. So this came up, yeah.
Where was, like, at what point of putting together your schedule, like, was this an early game on your schedule? Was it a later edition, or where did you?
It was probably in the later end, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. That was all such a blur at that time, so I'm not sure. But
there's someone you identified as, hey, this is something that.
yeah, I mean, they're in the same boat as us. And it's a little easier on the West Coast to get more quality games because there's not as many schools, right? Like here, you got so many schools on the East Coast. You have so many different leagues and things like that, you know, from high level to low level. So there's a lot of teams to choose from. They don't necessarily have that. So they can get a little bit maybe better quality game, and it's probably helped their conference, why the Mountain West has had the NCAA tournament success they've had, getting teams in, because they could get those quality games. But then being willing to come play us and find a play, you know, and it's not just, hey, let's go play, right? Like, we couldn't go all the way out there this time of year. They couldn't come all the way to us this time of year. So now you're going, okay, what's midway? So Dallas was kind of midway, along with a couple others, but you got to have somebody that's willing to host you, right? An arena that's willing to host you. So it's a lot of moving parts. So it was not like a one phone call and done. It was, okay, you're looking, we're looking. What are the dates? Okay, here's some dates. Okay, this arena's available on this date. Maybe we can get, you know, them involved. Okay, they don't want to do it, or they can't do that date. Okay, well, maybe that. So you just go through that process, and but at the end of the day, like, we wanted it to work out and they wanted it to work out. So when you have that, you're willing to get the common ground somehow, some way, you know, and whatever that adjustment, you know, I think it kind of works out fine for both of us, but, you know, maybe we wanted to play on Saturday and they wanted to play on Thursday and we got to play on Friday, right? Or the arena's not available on Saturday, so we have to play Friday, whatever it is. You know, you just work it out. So I'm glad that they did. It's a quality game. It's a game that we, you know, types of games that we want to play.
Would you call Tyrell a game time decision? Have you got any update from Jake?
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, he'll do some stuff today. We'll see. It's really, you know, we'll see what he looks like tomorrow live, and then in shoot around on Friday. You know, as long as he's moving okay, then there's no reason he shouldn't be able to play. If there's any, you know, any hesitation or any limitations, then that would probably, you know, hold him back. But yeah, right now I would say game time is probably the best description until, you know, we go out there today and he looks great, and maybe that speeds the timetable up. If he doesn't, maybe it slows it down.
I know we're 1,000 years away from, you know, March and thinking about NCAA tournament stuff. Is it frustrating as a coach to have this, you know, quad two, whatever, net rating, and, you know, when March comes around, they'll be judging you on a game that you played 4 games or 4 days into the season?
I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't think too much about it, to be honest with you. Like, we got a tough opponent on Friday. We got a really good game on Friday. I'm just locked into that. Whatever future implications there are, I'm not. We'll worry about that when we get there, you know. But for me, this is the next game on the schedule. We're trying to get get number 2, and we'll be locked into trying to get number 2. And regardless of what that means down the line, there's too much between now and then that can happen to worry about that.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Phil.